It's not just the engineering part, but just purely making friends and building a family together. It's like, it's kind of cool.
So welcome everybody to Series 4 of the Student Connect podcast. We're so excited to be here and we hope you are as well. I'm Curtis, I'm an esports student at the University of Staffordshire.
And I'm T, a final year illustration student, and we're your student host of the Student Connect podcast. This podcast is created in association with the University of Staffordshire and hosted by our student content team. It is a student-led podcast which shares the experiences of students progressing through university education and inviting experts from a variety of life topics.
In this series, we're going to be speaking with a multitude of students from the University of Staffordshire about the extracurricular experiences and opportunities that university can bring to you during your studies. We want you to help shape this series yourself, so please email us at comms@staffs.ac.uk, got it, or DM us on social media if you want to get involved.
Please take a moment to leave a review or a like wherever you're listening to help others find us, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Along the way, we will endeavour to share our honest stories, sometimes a little bit too honest, to explore the full experience the university offers.
Without further ado, let's get started. So today we are at the Automotive Workshop at the University of Staffordshire. The fully equipped workshop is where our students get hands-on experience using industry standard rolling road and Ricardo wave engine simulation, as well as the road, track and race vehicles.
We will be chatting to our guests about the competitions and awards opportunities we have here at the University of Staffordshire, including our award-winning Formula Student racing team.
So welcome to the Student Connect podcast, where we dive into the unique opportunities and experiences that are available to you as a student at the University of Staffordshire. Today we're exploring competitions students can participate in as well, and also awards that are up for grabs. So, Angel, Alex, welcome to the show. So would you mind telling us who you are and what you do at the University of Staffordshire?
Okay. Do you want to go first? Okay. So, my name's Alex. I am this year's team lead for Staffordshire Racing.
Yes, I'm Angel, and I was last year's team lead for Staffordshire Uni Racing.
Okay. Can you tell us why you chose the University of Staffordshire?
Back whenever we started choosing universities, it was like during lockdown, so a lot of the times you couldn't go through open days. There was a lot of online things and just seeing videos and stuff like that. For me, it was more of just it was mainly the workshop that caught my eye. It was Martin, his enthusiasm, and the way his passion is for not just this course and the Formula student, but just the person himself. That really kept me wanting to come here and kept me staying here, really.
And I have to reiterate, it's just when I seen the open day and when I seen the team here advertising Formula Student, it would kind of show me the people that are interested in what I want to do and the amount of effort they will put in to get where they want to go, which is kind of what we're doing now. So we've kind of swapped places with what the people were doing when we first came here. So we want to provide that same experience to the first years coming here, coming to the open days, and just sort of to show that we want to do well.
Yeah. Cool. I get that completely, because obviously I'm in a similar industry. So when you see people that are passionate towards it, it really makes you want to do it. So, obviously we're here for the racing team. When did you both start getting involved with racing and why? Okay.
So we both joined in 22, so our first year. We've been on the team for 3 years now, which is scary.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much whatever, if we're not in class, we're here. So it must have been maybe close to 3 years total time. But it's so rewarding being here for 3 years, because if you see behind us, we've got various cars of different years. You can see the progression in each one of those. And what we want to do is just keep on improving.
Yeah, so as Alex said, started back in 2022. Why I wanted to join? It was really difficult. It was actually weird, because it was on the Freshers Fair. I just kind of walked past it and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, it's engineering. Oh, it's right up my alley. And then I just spoke to the people there, the team leaders at the time, and they were just really passionate about it all. And the enthusiasm and just the friendship that they gained from it. It was just something that I was very intrigued and was very interested in. And then here I am 3 years later.
Right. The University of Staffordshires racing team is now in their 7th year of taking part in the IMEC E Formula Student event. After coming second place last year, they are the overall highest place in UK university globally.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of insane, isn't it?
So obviously the university's racing team is a student society that anyone can join. Like, I guess it's at the start of the year.
It's not limited just to engineers. What we pride ourselves on is having anyone. We can take non-engineers. In the applicants this year, probably maybe around 20% have been from games design.
Is it?
So it's not just engineers. We've actually had we've had a couple of members on the team who've put in 3-4 years who weren't engineers.
Okay.
And now that we're trying to spread awareness that it's not just engineers. We want everyone from every background, because it's mainly about effort.
Yeah.
Because you can get so far with just engineering, but when you put the effort in, you're not sort of stuck with your course. Because the software, we offer software that's, you wouldn't use if you weren't on engineering, but you can learn that without being on the course, of course.
Yeah. It's all about learning at the end of the day. It's about the effort and whether you're willing to put in that effort to learn. Like previously we've had business students as well, because in the competition it's not just about the engineering, it's other statics such as business and stuff, and obviously any other people's input would be very helpful for us, for their knowledge and for our knowledge as well. So we welcome pretty much anyone.
So obviously you mentioned that there's like loads of different sectors. What was your role specifically within the racing team?
Can you start?
So previously my role has just been sort of a general engineer. So last year I designed the chassis, which would be the main component of the car. That's what everything's attached to. But again, you don't have to be an engineer to do that.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky if obviously you're not, but if you're willing to learn, that's what we want. There's a few other bits that isn't just engineering. Angel mentioned, you've got business, you've got costings and all these other events, which we've all seen Dragon's Den. It's like a presentation like that.
Yeah.
So you go up in front of a panel of judges and they basically say, they're asking you questions about it, but Angel can tell you more about that side.
Yeah, so back in first year, I started diving deep into like the vehicle dynamics side of the car, and then ever since then it's just kind of stuck with me. So then the last 3 years it was very mainly on the vehicle dynamics, and then I had the opportunity to be team leader last year, and then with that I was also involved in the statics, so like I was part of the business team, helped out with a lot of the costings as well. As Alex said, the business is very much like you show up with a presentation and just trying to sell the car like as if it was a business. And then they would like ask you like a bunch of questions and stuff, and they can be quite intimidating sometimes. And then if you're lucky, you can get some nice ones, but most of the time they're quite scary.
How can people find out more if they're interested?
So, well, we've got our social media page. So we've got our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We've also got TikTok, but that's more for us messing around in here sometimes. So our Instagram, I believe, is
at Staffs Uni Racing. You'll find, like a link tree with all our other links and everything. But one thing, it's not good to look just at us, because it is a university competition. So there's universities all around the UK as well as internationally.
Yeah.
I think there's just under 20 different Formula Student competitions sort of globally. There's like Formula Student Germany, Austria, Czech, it goes on. But it shows you the dedication that other universities have to this competition. Most of the time, it is sometimes, it's not nice to admit, but there'll be international universities that come overboard, and they're just really good because they've got the background, they've got the funding. There's a team, Modena, if anyone knows Modena. It's a city in Italy which Ferrari comes from. So this university is Ferrari backed, which means they've got the money and sort of the lecturers that can
the people.
See, we do pride ourselves in obviously coming up in those positions, but when there's other universities with that sort of experience. But yeah, just check out, on social media, on YouTube, check other teams, and then it really gets you to understand what the competition's about.
Not only that, like if you're at University of Staffordshire, find us at Dwight Building in KO36 as well. We'll always be in this workshop. You'll always find someone. If not us, it'll be Martin in here anyways.
So for this Formula Student competition, you have to design, build, race a single-seat car, and obviously all the logistics stuff behind it. What would you say is your favourite part?
It's hard to say because a lot of people that comes to this team, they would like to drive the car. Now, luckily last year I was able to drive it, and that was definitely quite an experience. It was really, really fun. And I don't want to say driving was the best part because I don't want to encourage people to come just for the driving. But other than that, it was mainly just building the friendship, and we basically call each other's like family now. I pretty much don't have any other friends outside of this workshop. We live together like quite a lot as well. Like around January time, whenever the term ends, we the team that doesn't have accommodation to stay up until competition, we actually then have accommodation from the university, and we all kind of live with each other, and that's where we actually build like pretty much like a family. There are times where we would make dinner for each other, we'd have like movie nights together and things like that. So it's not just the engineering part, but just purely making friends and building a family together. It's like it's kind of cool.
So she's had a lovely message there, but I want to reiterate, it's not a racing competition. So a lot of competition, it's very little racing. It's close to an engineering competition, more of like a, what do they call it, like a logistics side. So there's a lot of team planning, team organization. You've got the costings, business, all that. That is sort of what leads you into industry. When you go into looking for these jobs, they don't care that you know you were in a race car. They want to, what have you done at university? And then they even said themselves that it's not a racing competition. What we do at these events, there's no wheel-to-wheel racing. You'll never hit another car.
Well,
we'll get back to that. But it's more, the journey of it is what the best bit is, because we start designing these cars in August all the way through till July. So a week before, hopefully we've got everything right. But it's just one of those things that you're constantly doing, you're constantly getting better. And it more or less is pure engineering, because you notice something, can it be better? Yes. And then, lighter, stronger, and it goes on. Yeah. But that would be my best bit, is just sort of designing the car.
So you just mentioned it, but just to quote Martin, it's about the journey.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
As a university, we seem to be pretty successful in these kinds of competitions. Just this year, we had student Casper Marriott win the Super UK Young Designer 2024 competition. Crazy.
Whilst giving out shout outs to other people from the university, Games Art graduate Billy Gray recently won gold in the Best Full CGI Scene category in the Domeable Summitry Student Awards.
Even 3 of our professors have been ranked in the top 0.5 of all scholars worldwide.
Everyone's winning everything.
I know.
So you can watch more on these stories in the description. We'll drop a few video links, you can get involved. They'll be somewhere. So, whilst we're talking about awards, let's recognise Graduate Fashion Week whilst we're at it. So, Graduate Fashion Week is the largest graduate fashion showcase in the world, with around 20,000 people attending each year. And students here at the University of Staffordshire can have this opportunity to showcase their skills, their fashion, their talent, basically. So, past student Diana Kibangu Abonji even won the Culture and Heritage Design Award.
Wow.
I know.
Crazy. Nunika, a recent graduate and previous student content creator, you've probably seen her about before, attended Graduate Fashion Week last year and was recognised for her collection, Amorphed India, and you can see her collection on screen. Yeah. What sort of benefit do you think these competitions and student awards offer to students?
At the end of the day, it's all about learning. So just purely from being in the team, like even in first year as well for me, just being in the vicinity of the workshop and our meetings weekly and things like that, just from listening to what other people say, you just learn so much from them. And like, it's pretty much like it's like the biggest part of the former student is that really.
There's a lot of stuff. If I purely was just on the course, there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't have learned if I didn't do former student. And it's one of those things, I keep going on about it, but if you want to get into the industry, and if you don't have former student, you will have a hard time getting a job in F1. Now, on so McLaren are hiring at the minute, and when you go on through their form and you fill it all out, it asks, have you done Formula Student? Now that's a big indicator.
Yeah.
Whether if you said no, you're gonna have a hard time getting the job.
Yeah.
So unless you're like outstanding and whatnot, but when you go to these competitions, there's loads of employers there. You're sort of expected to bring your CV to these events. So if that's what I sort of can see out of it, if you're first year, you want to get a head start in your career, jump onto Formula Student, or else it's you're sort of messing up your career at the start, which isn't great.
Does your course do any competitions and awards?
I'm being asked the questions now. I don't know. I feel like the only thing we have as awards is like GradX.
Okay.
But because we run so many events, they're kind of awarding in its own way, if that makes sense. Because obviously, I guess it's a similar vibe where you take like a whole year of planning. So much work is put into it that when the final result is good and like it goes ahead, it's like the best feeling in the world. And I feel like when you're applying for jobs, they ask like, instead of like, have you done events? Have you done this specific role? So I guess putting yourself out there and doing all the extracurricular shenanigans is like the best thing you could do at university, because why wouldn't you? You're here.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
Get your name out there, innit?
What about you, T?
On illustration, so we do a lot of our work with the graphic design students as well, and a lot of our like competitions and awards and stuff like go together really. But I'd say it's more, you don't have to do them, but it's like a good opportunity where if you've already done work related to it on the course, you might as well just submit it to the competition. You never know, you might win something. People might recognise your name, might land you with like new networking stuff after uni. I just think it's like a good way to obviously promote yourself, really, especially through uni. So, yeah. The Formula Student competition finals take place at Silverstone. Have either of you been able to attend Silverstone?
We have, but every year, what we do is we are limited by how many students we can take.
Yeah.
So it'll be the number we take is less than who's on the team, which is always difficult because you don't want to say to someone you can't come. But it's all those who put their effort in are the ones who goes to Silverstone. You'll see at competition, some universities have the same take on it, efforts, or some, it's just, everyone can go. But as a team, we pride ourselves with having, outgoing students who are the ones who actually go to Silverstone, which is both us.
Yeah, I think it's quite surreal. Like when our first year of going to Silverstone, just being in that kind of area where everyone is so driven and trying to get to that same goal of getting that car to track and everything. It's amazing to see. Like, you just go through different garages and you see the different cars and stuff, and it's almost like thankful that I'm very thankful that Martin tells us to cross the T's, dot the I's, because it does make it easier when we get there, because if we are thorough with that, then it just makes it easier for us at the competition as well, and like you get to be a little bit more relaxed and just see the other teams as well.
Another thing is we don't get hotels, so there's like a campsite which is right beside Silverstone, where every university student goes there, and there's a campsite. So as you can imagine, just like a festival, alcohol is permitted, but we're not saying on camera. There's even taps and everything, so it's one of the things that is expected. So the lifestyle there, it's amazing. There's nothing else. I'm actually afraid that once I get out of here, there's going to be nothing. Because it's like I would have never thought I'd be talking to friends and whatnot who aren't from England. Yeah. So this year we had University Edith Cowan from Australia. Okay. I would have never thought I'd be talking to Australians. And it's just, it helps sort of expand, I don't want to say knowledge of the world, but it's just one of the things that...
It's networking, really. Yeah.
And then as Angel said, networking is really big, because you can, obviously, if anyone's on LinkedIn, the importance of connections and whatnot. You can get hundreds through Formula Student, even thousands. But we've been at Silverstone for 3 years, and every year the weather's different. Our first year, it was something like 30 degrees?
Almost 30 degrees. It was insane.
And then second year it was soaking.
There was welly boots. We had to take the welly boots out.
So it's different every year, which is exciting, because it is motorsport. It is a race. each condition is different for the car, so you've got to prep for each one of those. But as I say, it's just an experience that I would recommend to everyone, especially those coming to the university or who have just joined the university as well.
Cool.
So can you tell us about some of the awards or placements that you guys are proud of during the Formula Student competition?
The awards, I need a list, but there's a few in there that they're not just from Formula Student. We've got some from the union, and it's all basically showing the dedication that we put towards the competition and to others. There's a couple of awards there for Martin, our faculty advisor down there, not just from the union, from the competition itself. So they're able to recognise the effort that a man like him puts in. There's a few trophies, of course, related to our performance. We got 2 this year.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell about yours?
So there's a couple of things that we did win, but only 2 trophies for it. So as I was saying, at competition, there's a few different events. So there's acceleration, skid pad, sprints, and endurance. This year, we won the endurance shootout, which is basically fastest lap. The acceleration shootout as well. So we got a trophy for that. That's sitting over there. And furthest travelled cone. So because the tracks are laid out by cones, the competition's fun. So if you hit a cone, there's points deducted, but if you hit a cone really far, you might get a trophy. So we got that one. It's one of our...
You got that one.
All right. I thought we're a team. But that's one of the things. It's just trophies. It doesn't matter about trophies.
Yeah.
It's the experience we get from it.
Yeah.
And then the opportunities. There's quite a lot of opportunities. There's quite a lot of members on the team and who've been on the team have gotten from a student. Do you want to talk about them?
What do you mean? Like
Placements and that sort of...
Oh yeah, so just to hold on to that, we also have, as a team, our faculty advisor's wife, we call our FS mum. On a Sunday night, after the competition's finished, we have a little team awards night. So that's more catered to us and just a few inside jokes and stuff like that. So I think that's like one of the best awards that you could get from that. But yeah, so placements, we've got a few alumni that had placements. So there was one that was in Mercedes F1 placement. Okay. And he just finished a couple of years ago, or 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And then there's we have 2 students this year that they're on placement at the moment and still on the team, but one is in Red Bull F1 and the other is in what's it called?
AP Racing.
That's it. AP Racing.
They basically make components for F1 as well as many road cars. But it's not just F1. There's McFarlane that some alumni went to. Just general engineering ones, which is quite good. You don't have to go into F1. You don't have to go into motorsport. But having this, I'll keep saying it, it does boost your CV a lot.
Definitely.
So I think a good question to end it on is, what are your goals for the next competition?
We can go big. So we are quite consistent of a team. We're always placed in the top 5. It quite literally has been for the past 4 years. 2nd place, 4th place, 2nd place, 4th place. So we're back and forth. We're very consistent with that. But what we want to do is we want to go higher.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I mean, everyone's going to say it. They want to win, but I think it's within our ability to win. So that would be sort of my aspiration for that.
We've got to keep the expectations low in case,
That's a good point, actually.
What's the point? What's the point of doing it?
A lot of it would just be purely improving the car, improving our statics, transfer of knowledge is also a really big one, because a lot of first years that come in, then the third years leave and then they're left in the dark and things like that. So big thing about the team and stuff is always transfer of knowledge as well. So
because what we would do is there's different departments within the team, obviously related to the car. You have chassis, vehicle dynamics, aerodynamics, and it goes on. But what we do is we have like individual meetings with them, which then that department leader would then teach the newcomers. And it's just, you do gain a lot more because it's a lot of practical knowledge that you get from this competition rather than a lot of it's theoretical with the university. So having this and having students actually teach other students doesn't sound great, but you can be honest with them. You can teach them. If they don't know an answer, they'll put their hand up, because you're not scared to put your hand up in a lecture and ask. But as Angel says, transfer knowledge. We want to teach, we want people to learn.
Yeah.
And once we go, it's not our problem. You know? Yeah.
So can you give us more of an idea of what the Formula Student Competition is kind of all about?
Yeah, so for us it's more really a Wednesday to Sunday kind of thing, and then on Wednesday you kind of arrive, you set up your tent area, and then it's like a sign-in to actually get into Silverstone. So it's in Silverstone and Northampton. So it's a bit of a drive from here, taking the car and everything. It's a bit of a nightmare, really.
If anyone doesn't know where Silverstone is, it's where the Grand Prix takes place.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's actually the week after the Grand Prix.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of the engineers would stay behind, and they're the ones that judge you.
Yeah,
So
that's why
it gets quite scary.
Yeah.
But it's not just ex-engineers, it's also ex-students. So a lot of volunteers are people who've been where we've sat, and now it's their turn to pick apart our work and tear our ego down.
Yeah.
And but it's in Silverstone. It is a Wednesday to Sunday job, but it's more Monday because obviously you stay over on the Sunday. During sort of Monday to Friday, it's, there's this thing called scrutineering, which in every motorsport there is scrutineering. It's basically check if you're cheating or not, as well as health and safety and all that. So that's kind of what the car is built to. There's a rule book, and we have to meet all those rules, health and safety. As I say, you can't cheat, you can't do anything that they don't want. But that kind of takes place on those days, along with the static events, which we briefly talked about. Because at the weekend, you have all the dynamic events. You have the acceleration, you have the sprint, you have endurance, as well as the skid pad. Now they take place at the weekend, because they take up the whole day. So to have the weekday to sort of get your tent ready and pitch your ideas to all the judges and whatnot, kind of clutters it less.
Yeah.
Cool. So in regards to your course and stuff, what inspired you to do it? Was there anything before you chose to do the course that made you pick it? And then what are your favourite aspects of the course and stuff, would you say? So
I picked the course because when I was applying, what I noticed was the workshop space. Now, if you look at a lot of other universities, they're in the middle of the city. They might not have this large of a workspace that you can do hands-on work.
Yeah.
Above us, I don't know if the camera can see, is something we do in level 5, which is a track day experience where you basically start to finish, you do all the paperwork, you make sure the van and the trailer are MOT'd and serviced and everything. Because motorsport isn't just at the track, it's obviously before and after, as well as a lot of paperwork, because it's not safe. It is a dangerous thing if done improper. But it's hands-on. It's hard to do motorsport purely theoretical. So if you see any courses going away from hands-on work, there's no point going into motorsport, because you can't do motorsport from a computer. So having, as I say, hands-on is what I would look for.
For me, it was just purely through, as I said, because I was kind of in that awkward through school, at the end of school was the whole lockdown COVID thing, and then trying to join uni and things like that. So it's just because I had so much spare time during lockdown, so I just kind of explored my area. I intentionally at the beginning never actually wanted to join or do uni as an engineer.
Okay.
I was going to do something else completely different, and but then through the lockdown and things like that, just from looking at other things and seeing what other hobbies are out there and stuff, and then I just looked into, I actually kind of stumbled across this course on accident, and just from the modules and the just the alumni that were set in the website itself, it just kind of I just got myself drawn into this course, and to be honest, I wouldn't change it at all. I don't regret it.
What is your favourite aspect of the course?
So what I really enjoy about it is when I can learn in class, the theoretical side and stuff like that, then coming down to the workshop I can just apply it through real life. So for example, the Formula Student, not just that, but as Alex said, for the track day experience as well that we get to do at level 5, And then really just to see like the background of how everything works. I guess that's probably one of the biggest reasons why most people become an engineer, is just to see how everything works. But I think that bit is kind of just really interesting, is how I get to see the behind the scenes of a product or the car and things like that is what I really enjoy.
If today's episode has taught you something about our competitions and awards, or about the opportunities available at the University of Staffordshire, don't hesitate to look further into our university. There's just so many options available to you. There's bound to be something for you. Just head over to staffs.ac.uk for more information and check out the University of Staffordshire on YouTube.
And don't forget to reach out to any of the support teams at the University of Staffordshire if you have any further questions or you want to get started with your university journey. They're here to help you every single step of the way.
Thanks again to Angel and Alex for joining us today to share your stories.
Yeah, no problem.
And a big thank you to you, as always, for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Student Connect podcast so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes.
So thank you, listeners. Thank you too for hosting with me. Thank you to our guests.
Thank you to guys.
Thank you to the Media Centre, the podcast producer, and production editor. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast yourself, please send us a message on social media, because our boss will always reply. Trust me, we know. Visit staffs.ac.uk for support from your Student Connect team, and give us a review. We'll take your feedback. If you have any questions, just don't be afraid to ask. So I think that's everything. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.